August has been a hotspot for some of the most anticipated games of 2024, so we made a list of the most amazing new games on Steam released this month. At number 15, we have a laid-back 2D platformer that's all about fun with nothing too serious at stake. The game's entire idea is to keep everything superficial, easy peasy, and maybe even a bit directionless and futile. You play as a local salesman who gets sent to the mayor's office for some official work. Instead of doing said official work, you have to go around the entirety of the town and take on odd jobs given to you by the weird residents. The funniest part of the whole ordeal is that your odd jobs become increasingly wackier and eventually lead to your character completely burning out. Evil Corporation is an upcoming horror co-op that literally bases its premise around what it's named, an evil corporation. It throws you into the shoes of an apocalypse survivor indebted to a malicious corporation for seemingly saving your life from a nuclear apocalypse. To repay your debt, you're sent into dangerous dungeons, dark tunnels, and abandoned buildings, scavenging for scrap while trying to survive the horrific creatures lurking in the shadows. The game is a co-op and is definitely not for the weak-hearted, which makes it perfect for playing with friends. Some of the bosses and enemies are fairly tough to take down alone, so multiplayer teamwork is essential. On top of that, the looting system is pretty extensive and works like a charm when you've got a group of people with you. Because of how extensive Greek mythology is, it has been the cornerstone for so many big names in the gaming scene. Dawn of Defiance at number 13 is an open-world survival craft that also blends in a massive chunk of Greek mythology in its premise and comes out as a notably good title, pretty comparable to the bigger names. It's a survival sim craft that basically throws you into the role of a lowly character who's been exiled to a perilous island somewhere in the Greek world. You have to build yourself and your base up from scratch in order to get back at everyone who's wronged you, including the various powerful gods of the world, from practicing your combat on the local wildlife to taking on actual heroes and eventually gods. Dawn of Defiance is all about proving your own worth. Featuring at number 12 is U-Boat, a World War II-based submarine simulator that presents the deadly war from a different perspective. Unlike other similar simulators out there, U-Boat is a bit unique in the sense that it does not solely focus on players controlling the boat, but rather dives deep into the experience of active warfare. The game's mechanics are so extensive that they give you control over literally everything on the massive submarine. From controlling the inner workings of the ship to keeping track of every last member of the crew, from their eating schedules to their sanity, the game strictly focuses on how you'll manage your nerves in a high-stakes situation. The high stakes being, well, life and death. There's even a little moral, ethical element to the gameplay that plays out a necessary evil sequence, forcing you to make decisions that might end up in you abandoning your crew and whatnot. At number 11, we have every Lord of the Rings fan's dream, a survival game set in the mines of Moria, told from the perspective of the dwarves. Return to Moria is an exploration adventure survival game where you lead an ensemble of dwarves summoned to the sacred land of Moria by none other than the great Gimli Longbeard. You get to control this ensemble of dwarves and use them to reclaim and rebuild the land below the Misty Mountains. As you explore, you'll have to carefully navigate the risky terrain of the mines of Moria, finding prime spots to mine, build, loot, and craft. You'll also have to be very quiet and guarded with how you navigate the procedurally generated map, since pretty much anything will set off the dangers that lurk beyond. Although the last Prince of Persia game tied to the Sands of Time storyline was released way back in 2010, Ubisoft has been keeping the series fairly active. Their latest venture is a side-scrolling Metroidvania version of Prince of Persia called The Lost Crown. While it is a standalone game and not exactly a part of any of the major timelines, it's easily one of the stronger games in the series. With its stunning graphics, compelling storyline, and smooth mechanics, it certainly stands out. The game is absolutely gorgeous and has some seriously dynamic in-your-face action animation that makes its gameplay as satisfying as you'd expect from a top-tier Metroidvania. It has the standard jump, dash, and run mechanics, but also incorporates some very advanced moves that almost seem a bit too much for this genre. And that's not a bad thing. The fluid attack combos, rolls, dodges, and slashes are something you'd see in certain A-lister games, yet The Lost Crown pulls them off brilliantly in its 2.5D side-scrolling format. Number 9. Fields of Mystria. Fields of Mystria is a cute 2D pixel farming sim that checks all the boxes for your farming fantasies and is a dream come true for fans of all things cute and cozy. Like every other farming sim, this one also starts off with an open-ended mini lore revolving around you getting a plot of overgrown land to turn into a farm. Despite looking simple and unassuming, the game has an abundance of adorable customization options and playstyles that make it a blast to play. It even has an interface that looks oddly similar to Minecraft. Similar to other farm sims, you get to craft, mine, farm, fish, swim, fall in love, and get married. Coming in at number 8, we have Depersonalization, a tabletop RPG with 2D graphics and roguelike elements that features Lovecraftian lore and multiple endings. It's one of those types of games that is perfect for players who prefer their gaming sessions to be challenging yet flexible. The game features a very non-linear progression system and is perfectly balanced between hardcore and casual. The best part about depersonalization is how extensive it is. It gives you the freedom to shape your character however you want. You can lead them down a path to a bad ending, or work on them early to secure a happy one. Everything hinges on your choices, skills, battle stats, and strategies. The weaker your character is, the weirder their story will become, and vice versa. Coming in at number 7, Predecessor is a refreshingly out-of-the-ordinary multiplayer online battle arena that does things a little differently. It checks all the classic MOBA boxes, 3 lanes, set roles, but adds a unique twist by throwing you into a third-person perspective. Predecessor sticks to the usual MOBA formula, but draws inspiration from the 2016 third-person perspective MOBA, Paragon, and blends in shooter elements. With over 35 characters to select from and a staggering number of abilities, skills, and strategies to employ, this particular title may just be your next regular free-to-play. Fast-paced and minimalistic are 2 words you would most likely not hear in a single sentence. However, Nova Drift is a roguelite action RPG that has the most minimalistic art style ever, yet is an absolute unit with its action and fighting sequences. It's an arcade-like space shooter that puts a major emphasis on skill building and ability drafting. You get to shoot your enemies, other alien-like spaceships that come at you out of nowhere, of course, but you also get to choose from an arsenal of weapons and skills to tailor the gameplay to your preferred style. Number 5. Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is the sequel to the award-winning 2008 real-time strategy of the same name. As a sequel, Sins of a Solar Empire 2 borrows a lot of the iconic signature stuff from the first game and simply streamlines it to make it play out better. The game, like its sequel, is set in a sci-fi royalty backdrop that puts you into the role of an emperor leading your faction to victory against other groups. The game's progressiveness can be seen in the fact that its map constantly changes throughout the gameplay as a hint towards its perpetually transforming galaxy, which is very accurate to real science. You'll have to control and lead one of the 6 main sub-races of the game to explore, build, fight, govern, and ultimately conquer the entire space until it's yours. Number 4. Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones by Ubisoft is a pirate-themed tactical action game that revolves around you and your fleet going against other enemies to become the ultimate pirate in the Indian Ocean. Since it is a Ubisoft game, and Ubisoft has done pirate-themed games before, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, if you catch the drift, Skull and Bones does mirror them in a lot of its mechanics. Starting as a novice pirate, you'll command a small pirate ship and venture into the Indian Ocean. Along the way, you'll encounter various NPCs, enemies, and otherworldly threats that you must overcome to survive the unforgiving pirate life. The best part of this game, despite what the reviews say, is its very extensive naval warfare. Combat revolves around your highly customizable ship engaging with increasingly stronger fleets of enemies. At number 3, we have Square Enix's latest action RPG venture called Visions of Mana. It's the 5th installment of the Mana series and carries on with the Sacred Sword lore. It's set around a group of friends on their journey to the Mana Tree, where they'll encounter adorable yet deadly enemies, learn teamwork, and explore the most beautiful semi-open world map in the series yet. The game offers players a 3-player party, with the primary character being the protagonist, Val, and the secondaries being a bunch of other characters with their own attributes, skills, combat classes, and strong points. You get to play around with a variety of different weapons, each with unique elemental powers, and use them to strategize in battles. Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's in a 2D side-scrolling pixelated form. What could be better than that? At number 2, we have an FNAF-inspired puzzle adventure that takes every spine-chilling experience from the OG games and turns it into a charming 2D adventure. You take on the role of Oswald, a young boy who decides to explore his local abandoned pizzeria after he's had it with his boring town life. It's only when he enters the pizzeria's ball pit that he realizes the trouble he's in. Oswald must now evade not only the terrifying animatronics chasing him, but also protect his friends and family. You, as Oswald, have to navigate the eerie facility, solve puzzles, and stay hidden from the evil mascots prowling the facility. The most anticipated game of August, and arguably the entire year, is Black Myth: Wukong, a new Souls-like title rooted deeply in Chinese mythology. It's an action RPG based on the lore of the Chinese mythological monkey deity, Sun Wukong, and follows the journey of a monkey known as the Destined One, who must search across vast landscapes of China to find the sealed essence of Sun Wukong. Since Black Myth: Wukong is classified as a Souls-like game, it retains all the hallmarks of the genre. It's difficult, has amazing graphics, is massive in terms of map size and gameplay, and has some of the best action sequences in recent AAA games. Alright folks, these are the coolest games to check out or look forward to on Steam this August. We hope there's something here that hits the spot for everyone.